Hey everyone, hope you all are having a good BasilCon so far. Met a lot of you at the happy hour last night, really enjoyed that. My name's Siggy, and I'm one of the co-founders of BuildBuddy. And today I'm going to be giving you a preview of the upcoming BuildBuddy 3.0 release. For those of you who aren't already familiar, you can think of BuildBuddy as kind of like the server-side component for Basil. Similar how you could think of GitHub as like the server-side component for Git. It's available as both an open source project on GitHub and as a cloud-hosted service that's free for anyone to get started with. So there are 6 core components of BuildBuddy that I want to walk you through today, 5 that you might have already tried out, and 1 new one that we're announcing today. The first is our results UI. It allows engineers to analyze and debug their builds with a simple web interface. And integrating is as easy as adding a couple lines to your Basil RC. One of our users' favorite features is the built-in timing profile that allows you to see where your build times are actually going. In BuildBuddy 3.0, we're adding even more insights to this timing page with phase and execution breakdowns that allow you to get quick snapshots of where you should be spending your time when you're optimizing your builds. We've added a bunch of new suggestions to our Suggestions tab also based on the timing profile. The Cache tab is another user favorite. It shows you all kinds of details about your cache usage. To expand on this, we recently added this view that allows you to see all the individual cache requests that Basil makes for an invocation. You can click on each one of those requests and navigate to an action details card. This shows you a tree of input files that you can click through to navigate and download. And if you scroll down, you can see the timing profile, or timing information just for that action, output files, and more. Our trends page allows you to see stats across invocations to see how your build metrics are changing over time. For BuildBuddy 3, we completely rewrote our caching infrastructure, or sorry, not our caching infrastructure, but the infrastructure that stores and serves these trends to handle some of our largest customers that do millions and millions of monthly builds. Our new infrastructure allows us to perform queries that previously took over 20 minutes, even with indexes, and those run now in about 300 milliseconds. This isn't just some aggressive caching or some offline processing, it's live querying. So you can filter this data by user, branch, command, and a bunch of other dimensions, and even expand the time range to the past year, pull up millions of builds, and you'll still get your results in like under a second. It's pretty cool. Another feature we recently added is called Target History. So when you click on when you have a test that fails, you can now click on this Target History button on the test failures page, and you can see a history of the test successes and passes just for that test, which allows you to more easily answer the question, did I break that test, or was it already flaky or failing? You can also zoom out and see how all of those tests are performing over time. So that's the results UI. Next up is our remote cache. With our remote cache, it's geographically distributed, highly available, and needs to be really low latency. Some of our larger customers do many petabytes worth of cache reads each month, which means we need some caching infrastructure that can handle some serious load. To handle this, we recently underwent a huge rewrite and migration of our cache nodes to store our key value data in Pebble, which is a Go implementation of Level or RocksDB, if you guys are familiar with those. This allows us to serve cache requests in like single-digit milliseconds or less, rather than tens or hundreds of milliseconds that it takes for round trips to GCS or S3. We're also rewriting our replication logic in BuildBuddy 3 to use multi-raft. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's inspired by Cockroach, which will make it even easier to scale up BuildBuddy cache nodes with no operational overhead. So that's remote caching. Next up is remote execution. BuildBuddy supports running workloads on fully managed remote executors that we host, or in a BuildKite style bring your own runners configuration. If you saw Brandon's talk yesterday on scheduling, which you didn't thanks to COVID, you already know that we spent a ton of time optimizing optimizing the scheduling and task sizing of our remote execution service. But as part of BuildBuddy 3, we trained a new TensorFlow model to estimate task sizes for actions that we've never seen before. If you saw Patrick's tweet in September, you saw when they turned on remote execution, they brought their P95 build times down from over 1,600 seconds down to around 400, which is really impressive, especially for P95. So that's remote execution. Now on to workflows. Workflows is a CI service designed specifically for your Bazel builds. It uses Firecracker micro VMs with snapshotting to make sure your builds always hit a warm Bazel instance. We quietly launched this last year, but with BuildBuddy 3, workflows are ready for prime time. Setting them up is super simple. You just add a little YAML file to your repo, and you're ready to go. The biggest feature request we've gotten for workflows from some of our early testers is support for secrets, which we've added in BuildBuddy 3 using the same libsodium sealed boxes used by GitHub Actions. This means that your secrets are already encrypted when we receive them and remain encrypted until your workflow uses them. This unlocks a whole new set of use cases for workflows, including deployments and more. If you want to see just how fast workflows really are, take a look at the Rules Xcode project GitHub repo. I'll zoom in on this because I had a hard time believing this myself when I first saw it. But you can see these tests and integration tests run in like 2, 3, 5 seconds. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I encourage you to check it out. So that's workflows. Next up is the BuildBuddy API. The API allows you to pull information from BuildBuddy to use it and integrate it into your own systems. It's super simple to get started with and supports both JSON over HTTP and protobuf over gRPC. A super common use case is pulling build artifacts and test logs directly from the remote cache using our getFile API. So if you've used BuildBuddy before, those 5 components probably look pretty familiar with some new bells and whistles thrown in. But today I want to introduce you to something completely new, the BuildBuddy CLI. The CLI is built on top of Basilisk, so it's command line compatible with Bazel. It's open source, MIT licensed, written in Go, and has a few features that I think you'll really love. Let me show you some examples. The most powerful feature of the CLI is a dead simple plugin API. It allows you to extend Bazel's built-in functionality and share those extensions with other developers and other teams. Here's an example of a simple plugin that we wrote, which allows you to tack a -- open argument to your invocation. Once your build finishes, it automatically pops open a browser window with a BuildBuddy invocation that allows you to easily look at your test logs, timing profiles, and more. Here's another great feature. It makes logging into BuildBuddy a breeze. You can just type Bazel login, enter your API key, and voila. Now all of your BuildBuddy requests are authenticated to your organization without messing around with certs or headers or any of that. Here's an example of plugin that allows you to modify Bazel's output to make it more user-friendly. Without the plugin, if I kick off this build that has a Go error, you can see that the build fails, but it's hard to see exactly where the error is because it gets lost in the sea of white text. Now I can go to the BuildBuddy plugin library and install the Go highlight plugin with a simple one-liner. And when I run the build again, you can see that the Go file name and line number are visually highlighted in yellow. This is a super simple example of what you can do with these plugins, but the possibilities are endless. Last week, I wrote this theme plugin, which is super sweet. It's on the plugin library. You should check it out. It's called Theme Modern. It's really cool. So here's a final example. For this one, I'm going to kick off a build for a change where I forgot to update my build file. You can see that the build fails with a missing dependency. But if you notice there at the bottom, the plugin prompts me if I want to run Gazelle to fix these packages. I'll say yes. And now the plugin runs Gazelle for me. And voila, the fix is applied. This is just a super quick run-through of some of the things that are possible with the BuildBuddy CLI. But for a full overview, you can go check out this URL. So those were the 6 core components of BuildBuddy 3. Most of these features are available today, with the official 3.0 release going live very soon. There's one last thing that I want to share with all of you today. We want everybody to be able to use BuildBuddy, whether you're an individual developer, an open source maintainer, work at a startup, or at a huge company. That's why today we're increasing the user limit for the free tier of BuildBuddy from 3 users up to 10 users. BuildBuddy Cloud comes with a free tier that comes with over 100 gigabytes of cache transfer a month and up to 80 cores of Linux remote build execution. So you can try it out for free. Just go to buildbuddy.io. I think you'll really like it. Thanks so much for your time. Again, great meeting you all today. So many faces that I've seen in little bubbles before, and finally seeing them in 3D has been really cool. So I hope you all enjoy the rest of BasilCon. Thanks.